Time to act now and act fast before the Gurgaon story repeats itself in Noida. To discuss more on this, we are joined by Vikrant Tongar. He is an independent environmentalist and founder of an NGO, Noida Greens. He has been spreading awareness about this issue and has been appealing for change with various authorities. Also joining us, Pankaj Bajaj. He is the president of CREDAI NCR. He's going to present the industry's view in tonight's discussion. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us tonight. विक्रांत, आपसे शुरुआत करते हैं. जैसे हमने ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट में देखा, आपने जो भी साइट्स पे हमें लेके गए, ग्राउंड वाटर ओपनली निकाला जा रहा है और रीयूज़ होने की जगह ड्रेन्स में फेंका जा रहा है. तो ऐसे लॉज में क्या लूप होल्स हैं कि इतने सालों से चला जा रहा है? नोएडा का ग्राउंड वाटर लेवल का टेबल सेफ जोन से सेमी क्रिटिकल पहुंच गया है.
यस, बिल्कुल सही कहा आपने. इन दिनों नोएडा का जो ग्राउंड वाटर डिप्रेशन रेशियो है वो सेंट्रल ग्राउंड वाटर अथॉरिटी के अनुसार 1.22 मीटर पर ईयर है, जिसमें हम एक बड़ा रीज़न मान रहे हैं कि कंस्ट्रक्शन के लिए ग्राउंड वाटर यूज़ हो रहा है. लेकिन एक दूसरी सिचुएशन है ग्राउंड वाटर मिसयूज. बड़े स्केल पे मोस्टली 100+ कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट्स पे ग्राउंड वाटर को बेसमेंट बनाने के लिए विड्रॉल किया जा रहा है, एंड वो भी विदाउट NOC, जिससे नोएडा में एक सेमी क्रिटिकल स्टेज पे आज हम लोग आ चुके हैं. यस.
तो आप वेरियस अथॉरिटीज़ के साथ भी आप ट्राई कर रहे हैं कि कुछ इसके बारे में किया जाए. एक इन्वायरमेंटल पोल्यूशन प्रिवेंशन कंट्रोल अथॉरिटी के साथ मीटिंग हुई है, एक इंक्वायरी कमेटी भी बिठाई गई है, तो उसका क्या आउटकम आया?
बिल्कुल, इस पे काफ़ी मीटिंग्स हो चुकी हैं और ब्यूरोक्रेट्स काफ़ी वहाँ विजिट भी कर चुके हैं. और ये जो डिप्लेशन जो हो रहा है, इस पर सेंट्रल ग्राउंड वाटर अथॉरिटी की रिपोर्ट्स भी दी गई है, जिसमें कहा गया है कि नोएडा में यदि 3 स्टोरी या डबल स्टोरी बेसमेंट ना बनाए जाए तो अच्छा है, क्योंकि उसके लिए ग्राउंड वाटर को विड्रॉल करना पड़ता है. और दूसरा इशू ये है, जो मीटिंग्स हुई हैं उन मीटिंग्स में वार्निंग्स दी गई हैं. कहा गया है ऑफिशियली कि डी वाटरिंग जो हो रही है, सबसे पहले इसके लिए NOC लिया जाना चाहिए सेंट्रल ग्राउंड वाटर अथॉरिटी से. उसके बाद NOC के जो नॉर्म्स होते हैं वो फॉलो किए जाने चाहिए. एटलीस्ट अभी तक सिंगल प्रोजेक्ट के लिए NOC लिया गया है डी वाटरिंग करने के लिए, और कहीं भी फॉलो नहीं किया जा रहा है. 100+ प्रोजेक्ट में लाखों गैलन पानी लास्ट 5 ईयर से कंटिन्यूअस निकाला जा रहा है.
तो प्रॉब्लम ये है कि मॉनिटरिंग नहीं है.
मॉनिटरिंग भी नहीं है, ऑलमोस्ट NOC तक भी नहीं लिया गया है विड्रॉल करने के लिए ग्राउंड वाटर को, जो एक एनवायरनमेंट प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट का वायलेशन है. सेंट्रल ग्राउंड वाटर अथॉरिटी की जो गाइडलाइन है उसका वायलेशन है.
Pankaj, coming to you, where does the buck stop? Can developers as a community, can they take on the onus that yes, we need to strike a balance, we need to build homes, but we also need to honor our green commitments?
Definitely, developers are part of the overall ecosystem. We have to see, first of all, where is this problem coming from? You can't say that don't drink water. Right. You can't say that don't use water for domestic purposes. There's rapid urbanization happening in all over the country, and Noida is one of the hotspots. Samir would have the figures, but I am told that about 500,000 apartments are in the pipeline in the Noida Greater Noida region. One cannot denounce that kind of development. It is required for middle class, and water is required. So one is a genuine requirement for water which needs to be met. Now how and in what way is this water requirement to be met, and we should not waste water? That is the question to be addressed. I think my friend here is pointing out to some malpractices which are happening during the course of construction. That is one subset of the overall usage of water. So one needs to look at the overall holistic picture of how much water is required, and is that water available, and whether our pace of development and the number of buildings being approved in that area, is that sustainable or not. Right. So that I'm sure the Noida authority has done those numbers. Now let me tell you one more thing, that when builders buy land from Noida authority, and in the Noida Greater Noida land is only available from Noida authority, the land comes with a promise of being serviced by the Noida authority. Okay. They do not charge us external development charges, unlike the Gurgaon model. So what that means is that the authority is also promising us water supply for the purpose of the residents later on when the buildings are constructed. For the purpose of construction, they either they will supply us through their water pipelines, and if the water pipelines are not in place at that point in time, because construction usually happens before this infrastructure is put in place, then you need to extract groundwater, for which you need to, as he rightly points out, you need to take an NOC from the Central Groundwater Authority. This compliance is to be done by all developers. Now if some developers just like in any other industry, are misusing this. They're not taking the NOCs, they're misrepresenting, or they're doing some other wastage of water, then by all means they should be brought to book. I think more than that,
some of the project sites that we visited, and
yes,
these are all big reputed developers.
Yes.
For years, 3-4 years, groundwater is being extracted continuously,
yes,
and it's happening openly. So why can't we put a check on that?
One of the it is an ironical situation. I started Eldeco's first project in Greater Noida in the year 1999, and let me tell you, when we punctured the ground to start our work, water was available at a depth of 10 feet. And the force of water, it was almost like an artesian well. The Yamuna river was at a distance of 3 kilometers, and whenever there is more than enough water in the Yamuna river, the water presses down, it goes, travels under the ground, and the water table spontaneously erupts at some other location, and it comes out as a spontaneous well, an artesian well. So that was the situation many years ago, but urbanization over the years has taken down water table. It's now the water table is 30 feet at some location, it's down to about 180 feet to other locations. So there has been, and that is a byproduct of urbanization. It happens all over the world. But we cannot take water as a free commodity and be rampant in our misuse of it. So what we have to ensure that water is not wasted away. So I saw the video footage that you just showed. Now that is unconscionable. You can't do that. You can't take water and just let it flow on in the drain. But if you're extracting water and it is required for a genuine purpose, I don't think there's any getting away from that.
Like if builders in Gurgaon can construct homes with treated sewage water, I'm sure we can reuse that groundwater for purposes.
We are. In fact, I'm sorry you have shown some sites where water is being mistreated, but there are many other sites in Noida where there are fabulous rainwater harvesting systems, where there are parallel flushing lines where grey water is used, is recycled in the sewage treatment plant and is reused for flushing. It is used for horticulture. So all those things are also happening. But the problem in Noida, it's a problem of plenty. See, the water table at many places is too high. That is what he's referring to. That when you when you start building a basement, see, one level basement is fine, but now because of the increased FAR and the higher parking requirements, see, the parking requirements are also so high now that some projects, some high-end projects are going double or triple level basement. So, and if that project happens to be in a location which is kind of virgin, which has not been exploited earlier, so you will encounter water at the level at say 30 feet or at 40 feet. So then water, instead of becoming a resource, it becomes a problem. And that is probably some of the footage that you showed here. That is what it reflects. But we need a way to not waste that water. And I'm sure that a program like this is going to highlight this issue. And
but the problem that I'm talking about is the Noida Authority gives incentives to developers in Noida to build green projects. It gives them FAR of 5. So obviously they go higher, so they dig deeper and the groundwater gets extracted. So their green efforts in effect get nullified.
The problem is not the higher FAR. Let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. The higher FAR is required. It's a bad housing, poor housing is a very big problem in India. And let me tell you what is happening in Noida, Greater Noida, Noida Extension, Greater Noida West now is fabulous. 500,000 apartments in the affordable range. I think it's a fabulous delivery of affordable housing where the public sector has failed, the private sector has stepped in. Higher density of development, higher FAR are some of the reasons why this has happened. Now we need to make sure that this development happens in a sustainable way.
I should bring in Samir at this point, sorry to cut you off. Samir, a huge supply is coming up in the Noida market, Yamuna Expressway, Noida Extension, the whole Noida Greater Noida Expressway, over lakhs of units.
Yeah, so I'll just clarify that. So approximately 200,000 is coming. So maybe another 300,000 will come in the next 5-10 years. But as we speak right now, about 200,000 have been launched in Noida Expressway, Noida Extension and Greater Noida.
So Noida following in Gurgaon's footsteps, steps in terms of the groundwater situation? Is that too exaggerated?
See, the groundwater situation in Gurgaon is pathetic. You have only 25,000 units being launched over there at every given year. Here there are 200,000 units coming up in the next 3 years. So I think the situation in Noida is still much better than with respect to Gurgaon. And like Pankaj rightly pointed out, the issue is, and that's what we've seen in the footage as well, that the groundwater level is very high over here compared to compared to Gurgaon as such. Right. But I don't see so much more development happening in Noida because a large amount of it has already been launched. So I think this problem is manageable. And if the proactive steps are taken right now, like what Pankaj is also saying, that rainwater harvesting is started to happen and all that, the developers start to get more proactive, I think this problem should not be as grave as it is in Gurgaon.
Right, so developers need to become more proactive, the authorities need to make stricter laws and enforce stricter monitoring. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Vikrant, Pankaj, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on. We need to take a small break right now. We'll be taking all your questions and queries. As always, you can pick up the phone and call us on the numbers on your screen or email us on property@ndtv.com. Coming up on the other side, smart home options in Ghodbanda Road in Thane.